When this episode debuts, it's Sunday, and Sunday seems like a particularly good time to ask the question, do you know the correct way to walk into a church? Welcome to Every Day a New Thought. I'm Thor Challgren. Today I'm dressed up nicely because we're talking about church. And I'm going to ask the question, do you know the correct way to walk into a church? Or if you're not someone who walks into churches, do you know the correct way to walk into a building or structure or monument that we would think of as awe-inspiring? I'll say there are two ways that you can walk into a church, or again, any other building that you want to substitute for that. One way is to walk in with a sense of awe, but maybe a little bit on the fear side. Sometimes people have this way of thinking about church or a building like that is, I'm not worthy. Like they'll see all of this stuff and then it makes them feel small, or it makes them feel less than or humbled. You know, if you walk into St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican, that's certainly one way you can experience that. It is a massive building, and it was designed specifically to create a sense of scale where when you walk in, it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And that motive to make you feel humble in this great majesty of the Almighty, that's an experience that the church leaders, thousands of years ago, they could work with. They wanted that stunning artwork and that feeling of massive scale, because that would really convey to the person who walked in that power of the Almighty. So we can apply that same idea really to any building. You could walk into the Empire State Building, a massive structure like, the plant in Boeing where they make the giant airplanes, or you could be standing next to the Hoover Dam and you could say, how did anyone ever come up with this? That's one way to think about it, is think about it relative to you, where I could never do this. I could never imagine this. A second way to walk into a church, and you can probably sense that this is what I'm going to advocate for. Second way to walk into church or any of those structures is with this kind of attitude, that you could look at that great art, that stained glass, that gold, the size, the majesty of it, and you could think this: the mind that created this is the same mind that I have access to. It is the same mind of who I am. So instead of looking at that and saying, I'm not worthy, I could never do this, go in saying, I am worthy of this, and I am equal to the consciousness that created this, and therefore I could create this. Now, I know that's a bit of a bold statement, because if you're saying I'm equal to the genius of Michelangelo, that's a strong statement to make. I grant that. But I believe that on that level, that genius that is available, that was available to him, is available to all of us. And when you think about it, it's kind of interesting that the idea of the same breath that was drawn in St. Peter's Basilica 1,000 years ago, that breath in some ways is still there today. There's an idea that the molecules that existed 2,000 years ago still exist today, that the energy never, it changes, form changes into different energy, but it's still available. So if someone breathed in St. Peter's Basilica and you breathe there now, then you're part of that oneness that is everything. You are one with everyone who's ever been in any of these structures. So the next time you walk into any impressive building, remember, you are equal to the minds that created that. And if you want to create the same thing or better, you can. Thank you for watching the show today. I appreciate you being here. If you like this episode, please hit like. And if you enjoy this and want to see more of these messages, which are out every single day, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.